Hi everyone, my name is Tim and all welcome to another edition of Smelly Sweet. I've been tagged. I've been tagged by Just Jane to do my fragrance addiction tag. 12 questions I'm going to answer, and first I didn't think I was going to do this tag, but then I saw the questions and there are some questions I think is a little bit strange maybe. So I'll try and answer them as good as I can. But first off, there are some shoutouts I want to do. I will try and leave icons to the accounts above, or if I'm not able to do that, I leave in the description a link to their accounts. So first off, we do have Just Jane, a lovely lady I enjoy to watch, so go check her out. Next up, we have a new Swedish YouTuber. She speaks in English. The channel is called the Perfume Passion. Go check her out. She does short, informative videos on a daily basis, touching on some different subjects, which I really appreciate, so go and check her out. And then we have a new YouTube, not new, she has 800 something subscribers, but was a new person I came across, found her through Instagram, and that is the Perfume Nest. Now, she comes off really natural and genuine through the screen. She doesn't do unnecessary overplaying the stuff. She keeps genuine and simple, and I really appreciate that. So go check her out. And then we also have GB Fragrances, Giselle, an endless source of knowledge. I've learned so much by following her and subscribing to her channel, so I really urge you to go and check her out. I've learned a lot about notes and stuff from her. Just truly, I'm amazed. And these I've been doing shoutouts for of female reviewers, so I do subscribe to a lot of female YouTube fragrance reviewers because I think it is a great source to learn from. To learn about female fragrances, which I don't know that much about, and stuff like that. So that is a reason I subscribe to a lot of female YouTubers. And I think it is a great way to learning stuff, to educate you more. But I also have one shout out to my friend Michael over at the Fragrance Wardrobe. He puts an enormous amount of effort and work down to his channel, so he definitely deserves more subscribers. And that I also deserve more subscribers. So you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, give a thumbs up if you like the content, and comment down below which is your currently favorite fragrance, because I'm going to touch that subject a little bit today in the questions. So let's start off with question number 12, which I think is a really strange question, and that is, how many of your fragrances are niche, designer, or celebrity, I guess it was? Well, first of all, you need to know that in Sweden, when I went to school, we had grades, ratings from 1 to 5 in our grades, and in mathematics, I had a 1. 1 was the worst, 5 was the best, and I had a lazy one. The lazy one couldn't stand up, so he was laying down. That was my grade in mathematics. So even if I would, I couldn't, it should be impossible for me to count out how many percentage this of that in my collection. So I look at it this way. In my perfume collection, I've got 100% fragrances. No, that was question number 12. I've got the questions here on, I haven't prepared this anyway, so I have an iPad right next to me where I'm going to read the questions from. And question number 2, then the question number 1 in this tag, but I'm going to continue from number 2, is why do you use fragrances? Mood booster, habit complements, or any other reason? Well, I want to smell good. That is the only reason, and it is the reason I got in deeper into fragrances. I was trying to find some fragrances that made me smell better. Question number 3, how much and where do you apply perfume? Well, that also depends, also a strange question. I mean, everybody should figure out that it depends on season, what kind of a fragrance you're going for and stuff like that, but I usually do minimum of 3 sprays around my neck. Sometimes, depending on the fragrance, I do some more on my shoulders and stuff like that. Now, how many perfumes do you use per day? I have one main fragrance per day, but I also always spray some different fragrances on my hands, because doing this reviewing and stuff like that, I constantly try to detect notes in fragrances, try to discover longevity, projection and stuff like that, so I can give my honest opinions on these videos. Question number 5. Do you enjoy other perfume products? Yes, actually I do. I do have some hand sanitizer and some hand wash from Benjamin Barber and their Oud line. And that is about all. But I say that that hand sanitizer, I have a little container with me to work, you know, with COVID going on. And it is a compliment getter, because each time that I recently have applied it and I'm going around in the factory somewhere and come close to someone and they get a hint of it, they ask, what are you wearing? What is it? And so if you have a fragrance related business, try to get your hands on that Oud and make a perfume of it, because Benjamin Barber doesn't have a perfume of it. So make a perfume of that and you will have a guaranteed bestseller, a guaranteed hit, so to say. Question number 6. What fragrance in your collection best represents your current taste and aesthetic? First off, here's a question I don't understand. How can a fragrance represent my aesthetic? Because I don't even know what aesthetic is. I do know what kind of a fragrance that best represents my current taste, and that is the boozy gourmands. So I would have to go with Side Effect for that one. And you know all, go and check out my review of that one, because that is sweet from the start, a sweet innocent fragrance, dries down to be a sweet, gentle, sexy fragrance, and it isn't the kind that says spank me. It is the kind that says please spank me. So go check out that review. It is amazing fragrance, and I do think that everybody at least should try and get the nose onto that fragrance. Question number 6. Fragrance that you love but don't wear too often. There isn't anyone. I love them all, and if I love something, I will try and use it as much as I can. I have got plenty of fragrances, so obviously I would like to use them all every day, but that is impossible. So that goes a little bit about mood, season and stuff like that, which fragrances I do use, and I think there is one question that makes me come back to that later on. So actually, if I have a fragrance, I do like it, I will try and use it as much as I can. Question number, we come to that question I already know. Do you divide fragrances by masculine, feminine, seasonal, based, or any other categories? There we come here. Of course, I don't like to categorize fragrances. Female, masculine, it is a way for me to describe which way the fragrance is leaning. But I use female fragrances and my wife uses masculine fragrances. Seasonal, however, I don't like to categorize them by that, but obviously in the summertime I don't use, for say, Baronda, I don't use Golden Dalla, stuff like that, because it doesn't feel right. I don't feel like going out on a hot summer day smelling of a boozy gourmand or something like that. Then I want a nice fresh fragrance. But for wintertime, in the wintertime, I do use those summer fragrances, like Chanel Allure Edition Blanche. That is one that I use a lot in the wintertime as well, but weak performance, you need to reapply. Next up, we do have question number 9 or 8 in this, but my 9th question. No, I don't know why I show you 3 fingers, but anyway, how do you know what fragrance from your collection? No. How do you typically purchase fragrances? Sampling based on reviews, blind buying, trying to sample in store. Typically, if I buy a fragrance, how I buy it is that I approach the counter, I pull up my credit card, and I pay for what I want to buy. That is how I typically buy my fragrances. But to sort out which fragrances I'm going to buy, I try to decant, I try to get hold of some decants, I try to get hold of samples and stuff like that. But usually, it is also that I try and look YouTube reviewers. If they come up with something I find interesting, I try and find that in the sample or decant and then make my judgment therefrom. But it also is the lack of attention a fragrance is getting on YouTube or stuff like that. And that is, one typically was Surge of Comandante. I haven't seen many YouTubers speaking about that one, and I couldn't find a tester. I couldn't find somebody that sold me a decant, because, and then I thought, this fragrance must be special, so I want it. So that one I went on and blind bought. So you can, my recent office scents, I mentioned that, I'll leave an icon to that if it is possible. No, question number 10. What fragrance from your collection was not a love at first sniff and took you some time to love? That is the Comandante, because I wasn't getting what I expected from it. I expected something like a fusion between Naxos and Herod, or Naxos and Tobacco Vanille, or something like that, because it has the honey, it has some florals, it has some leather and tobacco, but I got a fresh soapy fragrance. But it develops to, so you can pick up the tobacco very strong at one certain point, and the dry down you can pick up the leather as well, so it develops. When you see me do that, I have the questions, I don't know if you see, I have the questions here, and there you see the lovely, I'll show you, there you see just Jane. I have the questions here, so I can, the reason I go there for the whole time. Let's move on. Question number 11. How do you handle fragrance fails, disappointments? I swap them. First, I start crying a little bit, and then I try to get rid of them. I swap them, sell them, decant them, or stuff like that. That is how I handle that. And the last question, fragrance on your wish list that you're not able to purchase, and why? I haven't any. I saw Paola Bianca's video about this tag, and she had the one and only reason I think is acceptable. She said they don't ship to Iceland. That I can buy. But don't come and say that it is too expensive, because then you need to save your money so you can afford it eventually. That is how I do. I save up monies to buy the fragrances that I want. And I think that is because fragrances is a luxurious product. It is not a necessity. It is something that we buy by luxuriousness. So if I want it, I have to save my money to buy it. That is how I do when I buy my fragrances. Now, you know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe. There was somebody who told me that I need to say that, because otherwise you won't subscribe to the channel. So you know what to do. I hope you like the content. So until the next time, you know what to do. Stay safe and be well, and I'll be